Time now for After the Beat. Much to discuss, much to answer. Let's not waste any time. Let's go to question number 1. What do we got? Okay. This one,
Sarah
by the
Kaufman.
way, is from Sarah Kaufman.
Hey,
How
that's
cool
cool.
is that? The new Invicta FC bantamweight champion with Holly at 145, Pena new mom, McMahon pregnant. Congratulations, Sarah McMahon.
Sarah McMahon's pregnant?
Yes, she announced yesterday. How about
Oh,
that?
I missed that. Wow.
GDR off for a long period of time. Rocky just losing in the... My eyes are horrible right now.
Losing
so I'm
in
sorry.
title bid.
Yeah, please, keep going.
What is the current 135 landscape, and what exciting fighter could the UFC add to their roster that could contend for the title soon? With a little smiley face.
I wonder what she means.
Roxanne Modafferi.
She's actually there already.
I know.
You know, you do bring up a...
I'm trying to think of who's on.
No. This is the answer. I didn't see the most updated rankings, but prior to this, I mean, we talk about like light heavyweight being, light heavyweight's a disaster. You know, women's bantamweight is a dumpster fire. Not because the women there aren't talented, but because of the circumstances that she's talked about. It's just a mess in terms of who's coming, who's going, who's active, who's not. So the one thing that you have going for you is what in Boise they're going to do Katzengano versus Marion Renault.
Yeah.
That the winner of that one seems to me is well, who the hell else is it going to be other than you had Holly Holm just recently sitting at number 1. I don't think she should be sitting at number 1, but she's sitting at number 1. You could do that. You could do.
Who did Katzengano just lose to?
I don't even remember.
Caitlin Vieira.
Yes,
Caitlin Vieira, but okay, but no one really knows.
There's no buzz. There's absolutely no...
That's the issue. It's like Marion Renault has a win in 2018 as well. I'm not saying she's the most exciting story, but I actually really respect her. I think she's a very good fighter.
Tremendous.
She's a high school teacher. You know, there's kind of a cool vibe going there.
Okay, but here's the thing. Nunes just fought, of course, and she's banged up, and they want to do the Cyborg fight. So do you just wait for that fight to materialize and just use this time to build up contenders? Like, do we really need a contender right now is the question.
You need warm bodies.
Yeah.
I think the Cyborg fight is a good option to let the line build, or just throw in whoever's on a streak and who's at the top right now and available.
Well, what about Sarah Kaufman?
Yeah.
She just won the belt.
Kind of the,
yes, I think that's
Sarah Kaufman, I would like to see her in the UFC.
And she should have never been out. I mean,
I agree.
She's that good. And you were in Columbus too. When her fight with Alexis Davis.
Oh, it was tremendous.
That fight still, to this day, I still love.
That was Rousey tape 1.
Okay, so you want to hear the rankings as it goes?
Okay. I thought you were just like checking your email.
Holly Holm is still at number 1, which to me is like...
Interestingly enough, I know it sounds crazy, but like Holly Holm versus Amanda Nunes, that's an intriguing fight.
It is,
except stylistically, but I know, like, given the Holly Holm,
and I appreciate her taking fights at 145, but like, ugh. Caitlin Vieira's, no, I'm not mad at her. I'm just saying it's a mess of a situation. Caitlin Vieira's at 2, to your point, but Pena's out. Pennington, we know. Durand to me is 5. Zingano and Renault are 6 and 7, so that's a great one.
Yeah.
Sarah McMahon, as you mentioned, pregnant. Aspen Ladd at 9, but to me, it's a distant 9.
Yes.
Given that she's there for weird reasons.
Weight.
And then Correa, Landsberg, Aldana, Pudilova, Moraes, and Mazzani.
I think the key now is to get Caitlin Vieira a big fight. Maybe even against the Sarah Kaufman.
Yeah,
you know, and there's your number 1. But I still feel like they have a lot of time before this becomes a problem because they want to make that fight. And who doesn't want to see that fight?
You know, that was real smart of Sarah McMahon to introduce herself into the conversation. I appreciate that from
Sarah Kaufman.
Well played, Sarah Kaufman.
Is very savvy.
She's a vet, dude. She's a vet.
And I'm happy that she got the belt because I agree with you. They should have never let her go.
Yeah.
She's a great
she should have
fighter.
been there.
Right?
I mean, she stood in against a who's who, too. Like, look at her resume sometimes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, she's fought some killers.
All right, let's move along to the next question. Will Darren Till have a bigger impact on British MMA than Bisping? Obviously, impossible to know right now, but what do you guys think? This time, 10 years from now, is Darren Till a bigger deal than Michael Bisping?
That is a great
I think
question.
the pioneer and just being the first is always a huge deal. I mean, Darren Till can go on and achieve great things and do great things for Europe and MMA in the UK, but that's all going to be off the back of Michael Bisping. Michael Bisping was the first champion, you know, British champion. Just everything that he did, he's been around for forever. You know, it's hard. I think we'll have to wait and see, but it's hard to top what Michael Bisping has already achieved, which is pretty darn impressive.
What do you guys think?
I mean, if he's able to win a title and defend it a couple of times, I think there's a good chance that he could be that guy. Because I mean, he has a very
goes on a long run,
you know, like I think there's something else. He's got some charisma. He's not afraid to speak his mind. I think he has a lot of those same Bisping traits, you know. He's certainly not afraid of saying he wants to be the best in the world, and he's been saying that since the beginning. I see it like if he's able to kind of, you know, let's face it, with Bisping, we were talking about this earlier, like, you know, his title run didn't really need to be glorious. It just, there was the fact that he came back and he was able to get it.
Yeah.
This guy, if he did it in his youth and he's able to just kind of have some really good showings as the champion, I feel like he would be a pretty huge deal.
Yeah or nay?
The question was for British MMA?
Yeah.
He actually might be, because I think Michael Bisping has some notoriety, certainly in the UK, and that deserves to be acknowledged. But I often think of him more as an American star in certain ways, to be quite honest with you. Whereas somebody being like from Liverpool, fighting in Liverpool, and then having this real, I mean, was he from Clitheroe, Michael Bisping?
Mm-hmm. Well, originally from Cyprus, actually.
Oh, is that right?
Born in Cyprus.
Yeah, well, then Clitheroe, I think, was where he grew up.
Yes.
And none of these places are better than the other than to say Liverpool can be this fighting hub. And so, in the end, will Darren Till achieve as much as a fighter as Michael Bisping? Well, he's got a long road ahead of him to get even close. However, do I think he might be able to lift up that regional community in a way by living there and staying there and in a modern era of MMA? Maybe.
It feels like a quick push now, but it actually hasn't been that quick for Darren Till. I remember not that long ago, he's fighting on these Brazil cards, like on the Fight Pass prelims, and it's not really that big of a deal. Bisping came in on a rocket ship, third tough winner, all that stuff and more. If Till can sell out an Anfield, like he's talking about, a big football stadium, that would be a big deal. That's something that Bisping
would be a big deal.
has never done. So we shall see. We'll get back to that one in around like 10 years or so. Next question.
Yeah, really.
What's the panel in particular?
Oh, great
Luke
one.
And Danny,
I'm
thoughts
so
on
glad you included
great
this question.
Zinedine Zidane leaving Real Madrid after winning their third straight Champions League. Thoughts on the finals?
Hey,
it was nice talking to you.
Hey, Danny. Well, here, I mean, what more?
Wait, for those that are unaware, what is the news here this morning?
So Zinedine Zidane, who was a legendary player for France, but as a club player also for Real Madrid.
Zizou,
as he is well known. He, I think, finished in 06. His final career was ended in 06, and then he, from 2016 to 2018, 2.5 seasons, was the club manager for Real Madrid. And during that time, he earned more trophies than the last 6 managers combined, including back-to-back-to-back Champions League titles, which has not been done since the 70s by Bayern Munich. So you can imagine he is a beloved figure in that club, and they just won on Saturday, and he said he is leaving today. Actually, I got up this morning at 6, and then right as it happened, you follow AS at all, or Marca? And all of these are Spanish press, and all of them are like, there's a Zizou conference at 1 p.m. their time. And I'm like, I knew right away.
Shocker?
Whenever he did the contract renegotiation, he doesn't make a show of it. So to make a show of it was like a major red flag.
No, but like yesterday, was this even being discussed?
I didn't see anything.
No.
So this is a total out of the blue thing.
This is out of the blue, for sure.
Okay, so thoughts?
Thoughts? Well, Trinivas, who works on the audio for this show and also for the MMA, made a pretty good point. And I think this is, in a way, a good time to leave, because he's always left on top. When he was at the club in Real, he left when they won the Champions.
As a player?
Yeah, as a player. And now he just had a pretty good season as far as like Champions League go, La Liga, that's a different topic. But yeah, I mean, he just achieved a lot.
Hours
he just
ago.
achieved a lot. So, walking away, I think he could, if he really wanted, he could stick around and still manage Madrid. And let's be honest, Madrid has a really deep roster and a very good one as well. So anybody that you put in there would, the team's going to do well. But he still had plenty of success. So it is surprising, but he's legendary. And if he walks out, it'd be on pretty good terms.
Wait, he did walk out?
Yeah, once he walks out, it's on
Yeah, but he could come back.
What do you mean he could come back?
Dude, he's
like in a few years?
Oh yeah.
No, but I mean, like right now, the decision to leave. Are you okay with it, or are you sad about it?
Terrified by it.
Terrified.
Because all of the other, if they bring in Arsene Wenger, I will die.
They should. That'd be hilarious.
I don't think they will. And then Tottenham's coach just got re-signed. We'll see what they can do anything with that. There are a couple of guys out there floating that they could pick up. But to me, I just want to make a point here that you know what? Let me be nice, actually.
Okay.
If you look at Europa League, which is kind of like the NIT only elevated, and Champions League, these are the two major competitions for Europe. But if you're the best team in Europe, you're the best team in the world. In the last 5 years, so we're talking 10 competitions, 9 of those 10 have been won by Spanish teams. It is the era of Spanish dominance, including major contributions from his team, which is the little brother of Madrid, Atletico. They're a good team. No team in the world is Real Madrid. but they have been good. And so people always ask me, do you watch the Premier League? Premier League's fine, but the dominance on the international scene speaks for itself. The 3 best teams in Spain are pretty much as good as it gets. At least the last 5 years they've been.
Chuck, I know you're itching to get in here, so hold that thought. Let's go to our next question, which is
Barcelona.
which is for Chuck. Here we go. With the United States and Canada not going to the World Cup, who will you guys support? So Danny and I sort of talked about this last week. You guys were off doing something else. Chuck, your call.
Yeah, Chuck.
Who are you supporting? World Cup.
What's the pastiest white country in Europe that you can get behind?
Iceland?
Yeah, probably Iceland.
And they're a feel-good story, too.
Yeah, they are. So you're going with Iceland. That's your team?
Sure.
Are you a World Cup guy?
Not really.
What?
Nah.
Look at you. Just kind
He's
of
like, I'd rather watch Family Guy reruns.
You don't get into it for a month?
A little bit, but
If
not
US
much.
was in
I
it?
mean, I'm like, it's just sort of, I'll flip through and hang there, but it's not like I seek
You're not
out
quite
the
sold
schedule.
on the tournament,
I don't mind it, but it's not like I know who's going to be playing and things. I don't follow.
He's like, I'd rather watch Dukes of Hazzard reruns on TV Land.
Your kid's not into it?
Like
not
a
old
real
enough?
American.
Not really.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Danny, you said that you're going for Egypt. to win
No,
the
well,
game.
obviously Colombia, because I'm from Colombia all
Yeah.
the way.
I thought you said you were going
but
for
once, but I'm also rooting for Egypt. I think they haven't made the World Cup in
Chuck's face.
like 20 years. Mo Salah is killing it. I'm a big fan of Mo Salah as well. And I like rooting for the underdogs. So Colombia first, but right after that is Egypt.
I'm gonna really watch this year.
Good.
Second.
I want to get a breakdown.
Enthusiasm.
I want tweets on it. Serious tweets.
I just can't. I mean, you are so smart and so cultured, and you're over there just being,
Dismissing.
a Bud Light drinking goober.
I just haven't really got into it.
Oh man, you got to get
this
on
is the
board.
year.
You got to
This
get
is
on
the
board.
year.
And obviously for me, it's very cafeteros. Obviously,
I don't know what that means.
that's what you call them.
What?
Colombia.
That's the Colombians. They're called
How are we supposed to know that?
Everybody knows that.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
You did?
Argentina is the Albiceleste. Let's see, who is
Three
it?
Lions.
Peru is the Blanca.
I knew nothing about this.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah?
I think they're Rojiblanca. No?
There you go.
Anyway, so they all have different names, and they're the cafeteros.
Cafeterias, meaning because they like to eat in cafeterias?
No, because of coffee.
Coffee.
Cafe is coffee.
Joe, did you know this? Come on.
Yeah.
Even Joe knew.
Wow.
There you go.
All right.
Step up your
Okay.
soccer.
Up
My
yours.
bad. My bad. Last week, by the way, I picked England to win it all. That's my pick.
Yeah, their squad is super shitty, by the way.
Yeah, we'll see about that. We'll see about that. Okay, let's
Harry
move along
Kane.
to our next question.
That's it, though.
Here we go. Who are the top 3 or 5 prospects across all MMA
What kind of
promotions?
questions are these?
Now, these are bad?
Well,
I
this
kinda
one,
like
who are the
them.
top 3 or 5 MMA prospects across? I mean, okay, so we're only naming 3 or 5 people.
I don't know why it has to be 3 or 5.
Sometimes I get questions. It's like, who are the top 10 prospects in each of the divisions in MMA?
Okay,
I'm like,
can I tell you why I picked
off the
this
top of your
question?
head.
I'll tell you why I picked this question because I knew there was a very good chance we wouldn't talk about the Utica card because there was just so much else to talk about.
Yeah.
And I wanted to highlight the fact that yes, it's not the greatest card of all time, but Jose Shorty Torres, Nathaniel Wood fighting in the top 2 fights.
great additions.
Those are huge prospects in my opinion.
100%.
Worthy prospects, and they're fighting in the first 2 fights. So I kind of wanted to use this as a reason. Wood, the former Cage Warriors champion now, and Torres, a double champ in Titan FC.
Right.
It's been a while since we've had prospects like that fighting in back-to-back fights that low on the card. So that's really the reason why. If you guys want to add,
Bellatorian in the sense of like the Pico. Remember they would sneak a bunch of those guys on the card.
there are some other ones. I mean, look at Bellator this past weekend. I don't know if we want to put like the Aaron Chalmers of the world, but these are okay. Anyone else? Anyone else we want to highlight?
If you want to talk about that Utica card, certainly I like the Vince Pichel versus Gregor Gillespie. Gillespie could be one of those prospects. And Vince,
So we're talking about guys like that, like guys who are a little established but not totally, that will
I think that's
can make
fair.
big waves.
how about you have to talk about Tenshin Nasukawa?
Yes.
Out of Ryzen is just sort of the guy who's standing out there. I did one on the MMA, the Monday Morning Analyst for Askar Askarov out of ACB. Wow, he is very talented. Look out for him, and he's deaf apparently as well.
Wow.
So that's an interesting one.
Fully deaf?
I don't know the story, but I believe so. The way it was told to me is that he can't communicate with his corner in the middle of a fight. So really interesting. So we'll see what happens with him. I still think she's not a prospect in that sense outside of MMA or outside of UFC, but I think Tatiana Suarez,
Yeah, she
climbing
did
up the
good.
ranks. So names like that.
Angela Lee, I know she's a champion, but maybe not a well-known name. Fabian Edwards, the brother of Leon Edwards, who's doing very well in Bama. A lot of people think that he could be a force. Any other names you want to talk about?
I'm just going to throw out there because I know we didn't talk a whole lot about UFC Chile, but Claudio Puelles, who had the amazing comeback, he's just 22 years old, and in The Ultimate Fighter, he was always like, wow, this guy's super skilled, but it was sort of his mental game that people have sort of been talking about. I don't think he realizes how good he is. But this fight that he just had against Felipe Silva at UFC Chile really pushed him, and he even said, I never thought I'd be a fighter that would be known for the heart, which I actually have a story coming out on him pretty soon. And yeah, I think that fight really showed him how far he can go. And again, he's just 22 years old. He's been fighting since he was a teenager. And you know, he's a guy that can do it all. He can wrestle a little bit. He has really good submissions. He can strike. So I'm going to keep a close eye on him.
Also, on the women's side, actually, native countryman of Danny's, Alejandra Lara.
Fighting for a belt.
And Sabina Masso,
Yes,
also
LFA
two names to keep an eye on.
Yep.
If Lara wins, she could be. She's actually the first. She would be the first Colombian to win a major title.
Although
in MMA.
LFA would say that.
LFA, sure, but you know, compare LFA to Bellator, I think.
Look at you.
Also, in fairness to Sabina Masso, that win was great for her. But if you're beating, she has to beat for Lara. She has to beat
McFarlane.
I always get it right. McFarlane to win. That would be a bigger victory.
I don't know if you guys have heard of this name, but keep an eye out on this guy, 1-0, unheralded right now, but Dylan Dennis
Yes,
out
I've
of
heard
New
good
York.
things.
Gary
Is a name.
Tillman. I mean,
Yeah.
there's
Gary
a lot
Tillman,
of
that's a good
prospects
one.
out there.
Yeah, you know what was amazing to me? It's like Dylan Dennis. I don't quite understand his McGregor thing because I interviewed him years ago, and he didn't do any of that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's fine. You live your life the way you want to, and certainly I did indefensible things in my 20s in terms of just the douche factor. But okay, so I'm no better. But what I'm saying is when he fought that way in New York, for a first fight, I had no criticisms of it.
I mean, Chicago.
Sorry, Chicago.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
am I saying? I had no criticism, which isn't to say he did everything perfectly. But for somebody in their pro debut,
Yeah.
trust me, I've seen a million pro debuts. They don't go like that.
Yeah.
He looked
Get out of
tremendous for a pro debut, and I really didn't like the criticism of him.
All right, let's move along to the next one. We're running out of time here. What do you guys think about Wonderboy's comments on Till's knee kicks? He was saying that he thinks that they are illegal, a little bit dirty. He's had surgery. But John McCarthy came out and said, no, those were 100% legal. Do you feel, I mean, this is something that's been brought up with John Jones in the past.
Yeah.
Do you
Those oblique
feel,
kicks
yes,
to the-
do you feel like those should be outlawed?
I remember talking to Doc, what was the guy's name? The judge, Doc Nelson?
Doc Hamilton.
Doc Hamilton.
Yeah.
I remember talking to him back in the day, and that was one of the things he talked about was he couldn't stand the fact that those oblique kicks directly to the knee like that were legal. And he kind of pointed out why, but he was basically saying at some point somebody's knees is going to buckle, and ever since then I've looked at them a little differently, and then I've seen some guys like John Jones, like you mentioned, who've really made them part of their arsenal. Right now, I don't really have a big problem with it, but I could see how they'd be problematic because if you kick somebody's leg, I mean, it's just like the shin busting or something, but you can see how it's a little weird. It does seem like it's kind of targeting an area that will give us a very ugly.
Yeah. But right now, to be fair, those weren't illegal, even though he may have.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so he's playing by the rules.
Yeah.
And also this idea that you're targeting like a surgically repaired knee, that's not illegal either. That's
not.
in case that's being smart, right?
I mean, we were just talking about Bisping when Gastelum fought Bisping. He did say part of the strategy was to sort of strike on the left side of Bisping, right? Because he couldn't see well. He couldn't see the shots.
Yeah.
So it's smart.
The sport is the destruction of the corporeal body. If they want to make it illegal, then they can make it illegal. But if it's above board, I have zero complaint.
All right, let's go to the next one. What else do we have? If you had a champion versus champion UFC versus Bellator card, how many wins does Bellator get?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah, I thought it was a great question. So we don't have a Bellator heavyweight champion right now, so let's exclude that one. We've got Bader versus Cormier. Who do we have?
Cormier.
Cormier.
Yeah.
All right, let's move along to Mousasi versus Whitaker.
I'll throw a wrench in there and say Mousasi.
Yeah, I could see that.
Okay, Rory
I can
versus
see it, but I say Whitaker.
Whitaker. Okay, Rory versus Tyron.
Rory.
Well, Rory's already done that, hasn't he?
Yeah. 155 Brent Primus against Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Yeah, I do like premise in that one.
What?
He's an upset special, man. That's right.
that was Twitter Chuck.
Yeah.
You know Twitter Chuck?
145 Patricio Pitbull against Max Holloway.
Max. Easy
Yeah,
call.
Max.
Yeah.
And I like the Pitbull brothers, especially Patricio, but that's a Max Holloway fight.
135 Darian Caldwell against TJ Dillashaw.
It's an interesting one, but still say
right.
TJ.
I was still
Yeah, and they don't have a 125. Now let's go to the women. 145 Julia Budd against Chris Cyborg. Yeah, 135 they don't have. 125 Alimale McFarlane against Nico Montano.
I would say McFarlane actually in that case.
Yeah.
Interesting. And they don't have 115. So they do.
They have some competitive
hang.
action there.
Yeah, and I don't know if we can make that case.
I mean, the Pitbull Holloway fight. You think of some of those fights and you think, you know, it seems like Holloway would win it, but that would be a fun fight.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never really contemplated it, but that would be a fun fight.
Pitbull will be competitive.
Yeah.
I'm actually more impressed that I was able to remember the
Yeah, me
Bellator
too.
champions.
Yeah, me too.
Couldn't have done that.
I don't know. I didn't even think about it before, but it would be fun. It'll never happen, but it would
Yeah.
be fun. All right, let's move along to the next one. Would you rather have to forward roll everywhere or cry every time someone said your name?
You got problems, Ariel. Why did you pick this?
I don't know. It's just kind of interesting.
What do you mean exactly by forward? Like
Yeah.
roll on the ground?
Yeah.
Like everywhere I go? like I'm BB-8 or something?
Like Zanya?
I don't know what I'd pick because I'm an easy crier, right? Like to me, it doesn't take a lot, good or bad.
Nuh-uh.
So, yeah, it's true. It's true.
I don't believe
it or not. But forward rolling is very tough.
Cry every time someone said your name.
So it's not every time.
Now, if they said Luke Rockhold, would I have to cry?
No.
It'd have to be like my name,
Yeah.
addressed to me.
Yeah.
Just first name or both? Entire.
I will admit, I thought when I was thinking about this, contemplating it, I thought just first name. Now you kind of make me reconsider my stance because there's a lot of Lukes out there. There's a lot of Dannys, Chucks.
Yeah.
It's tough. Forward rolling though is so hard, right?
Yeah, that's
Especially on
tough.
concrete.
Yeah, yeah.
would
I
be
mean,
tough.
you can.
I just don't understand this
You'd be
question.
prepared for it. You can wear padding. And
I just think it's more interesting that someone actually put those
you need
two
to slow your
options.
roll.
Yeah. All right. That one was a.
Like, would you
swing and a
rather eat a bucket of scorpions or fist fight an avalanche?
miss. Which one?
bucket of
I
scorpions.
guess the scorpions, but like, I don't know what lesson we can draw from the fact that I'd rather do that.
Okay, this one wasn't asked, but I have to ask: have you guys ever played around with a burner account? Do you have a fake account?
I wish. You know, when that story came out, I was like, I wish I had a burner account.
Yeah.
But no, actually, I'm afraid not. I don't.
No, you guys? No.
I never have, and it would be. I hate logging in anyway, so it's like I don't want to have to
annoying.
log into a whole different account. You know.
Fighter most likely to have a burner account?
God.
Chase Sherman? Just to have fun with people?
I was
No?
thinking of someone who's like a little more insecure.
Dana White.
No, I was thinking it more like as a way to have fun with people.
Okay.
You're thinking on the insecure thing?
Well, I'm thinking about like Kevin
is it the
Durant,
game?
who was using it to go after people.
right.
Colangelo.
Well, that's a good one because there's a lot of them that are insecure.
John
but
Jones.
no, because he doesn't mind just giving it to you on the.
That's true.
He goes back and forth at his critics on the Twitter feed.
Okay, stew on that one. Let's go to the next question here. What do we have? What do you guys? Who do you have in the Pusha-T Drake beef?
I mean, this is such an easy call. I just want to.
Drizzy, right?
I would like to
Six
take
God?
if I may, and certainly I'm known for my modesty.
What are they beefing over?
I would. Wow. I thought I was the whitest guy. I
edition of
legitimately
After the
thought
Beat
I was
ever.
like, wow, I'm the whitest guy on that panel. Then I look over at you, and there's
Glaring.
and there's Dad Mendenhall. What are you two teenagers crying about? No, obviously, I just want to point out, take a victory lap if I may.
Okay.
On this very show,
Yes.
several weeks ago, I talked about how I wanted to go to a Kanye concert. My friend didn't give me
Yes.
tickets,
Yep.
and I was upset because they ran into who? Pusha-T backstage, who was one of my favorites. And lo and behold,
Here he is.
years prior to that,
Oh.
I kept saying that this Canadian who keeps crying and singing while also rapping, that the millennials apparently have embraced. No. Real MCs over at this white guy's side of the table.
Have you heard the diss?
Yeah, of course. The
beef
story
track?
added on. Yeah, it's a masterpiece. And here, the best part about it is everyone is saying how mean it is, which in
Yes,
fact
a
it
little
is.
mean-spirited.
It's only 3 minutes. If you think that's the only round in the chamber that Pusha T has, I
Oh.
guarantee you he has 2 or 3 more gears waiting. Because he said it was going to be a surgical
Yes,
summer.
yes.
He was merely slicing and dicing on the first.
Dang.
I am telling you, this is why it pays off to like real MCs, because when there's actual shit that goes down, the guys who can rap, the guys who don't need auto-tune, the guys who've never done club bangers with Lil Uzi Vert or whoever the fuck is out there right now, when the shit goes down, it is
Listen to
easy.
his language, now he's talking about rappers.
It is easy for Pusha T to win that battle. This was a joke from the get-go, and he stepped
I thought it
into
was 10-8 Drake. 10-8 Drake. I mean, we don't see a
Did you
lot of
score
10-7s.
the Till Thompson fight, 4-1 Till?
It was easy. You gotta talk about children and things like that. Come on.
Have you heard Hit 'Em Up?
Hit 'Em Up's an all-time great.
It's even worse. Yes.
No.
Well, in some ways.
Nah, they're not talking about children.
Questioning a guy's like comfortableness with his own racial identity. This
Danny?
is at the core of people.
I got Pusha-T.
Yeah?
How is this debate?
Yeah.
Chuck, you have no idea what we're talking about, right?
Pusha-T.
Did you hear about this at all?
No.
Monday night, let me tell you about, Tuesday, not Monday. Tuesday, Pusha-T, the Colangelo story, and the Roseanne thing. I mean, that was like,
I did see the.
Twitter will never be more relevant than it was
it was big.
on Tuesday. What a night for that social media. And we're doing this on Twitter, so kudos to you, Twitter.
I think Trump tweeted a picture with Kim Kardashian.
No, that was yesterday,
was
Danny.
yesterday?
You got to get your days right.
The MMA hour threw me off.
Yeah, it did throw me off as well.
Oh, that's
still
right, 'cause it was on
thinking-
Tuesday.
It was a Tuesday,
thinking, yeah.
Tuesday night was big. Okay, Chuck won't weigh in on this. I appreciate him abstaining.
Yes.
But
Back in
yes.
my day, we went to the movies for a nickel and popcorn was a dime.
Okay, what else we have? What else we have? What is the most awkward encounter you've ever had with an MMA fighter through the course of your work? Anyone?
Oh, this is easy.
Yes?
Yeah.
What do you got?
The John Jones thing.
You think that's awkward?
It caught me by surprise.
And okay, so for those that don't know, you asked the question.
Yeah, he
you
was
said,
like, "Oh, I don't like you." I was like, "Well, join the club." To be fair, John, neither does my family, but they will answer my question. It caught me by surprise.
fair enough. You had no idea that he was gonna.
Neither did his management. So
Yeah.
so
All
I
right.
was very much caught off guard.
Chuck definitely has.
I was just trying to think. There was one time in Orlando, I was in the there's the workout room, and I was doing some like steep. You told me about like if you walk on a steep incline at a certain.
Oh, yeah.
speed,
Yeah,
I was trying this
yeah.
out. So I was doing this thing, and you know, breathing heavy, sweaty, and then Jake Shields. I'm the only other guy in there is Jake Shields, and he comes in and he like does the same thing, but he's just running it. And I don't know why, but that was like.
Was it humiliating or something?
When you see an athlete like that, like right next to you, just like doing this, I don't know. It was very awkward because he knows who I am. I know who, so it was like, that was awkward, just being in the room with him. I don't
And it's
know.
not like Jake is the guy who's going to make you feel comfortable about the fact. He'd
No,
be like,
he
hey,
was-
buddy.
no.
You're kind of going to go.
No,
toe to
I don't
toe.
think he said anything. He may have said, hey. He was like, hey.
Yeah. It's always tough when you're at the Fighter Hotel and like you're there for your little Thursday morning run on the treadmill and like here comes Khabib Nurmagomedov, with the
Be more awkward
plastics
for you
on.
because I can still kind of get by with some of them
incognito.
not knowing me, but you can't get by with that.
Danny, what do you have?
When Joanna and JJ came in the studio, I said hi to her before she walked in to talk to you. And I kind of went for the handshake, and she went for the,
Oh, you
fist
did the
bump.
ball and socket joint?
No, not even. It was worse, because like at least that has some sort
Yeah.
of, connection, some sort of clash. But we were just like, and then, I don't know, it's just weird.
But not horrible, right? You had a
No,
laugh
wasn't
over
horrible. Yeah, yeah.
it. All right.
I'm trying to think of other moments. I had a manager once. I forgot who, but I guess they got my number mixed up because I was in contact with them trying to interview a fighter, and they were texting me like, "Honey, I'm gonna be like, back home," and I'm like, "Yeah, sorry, wrong number," and then that was
At least it wasn't worse than that.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah. I've had a
you?
bunch. I could go a whole hour.
feel like you have a
God,
good.
I feel like you had
yeah,
a cornucopia of them.
I guess everyone would bring up the Nick Diaz one where he said, people like you get slapped. I don't know if I call that awkward or just really tense and kind of scared and maybe soiled myself. That's the only time where I thought someone was going to hit me.
What about when Mayhem Miller had his issue in studio? That was a little unnerving.
Yes. Again, I don't know if awkward is
Yeah,
the
I
right
don't know.
word,
I see.
but
That was tense.
that was weird. That was weird because it was like I was looking in his eyes and like he wasn't there. Like something was off.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That is
we did
bizarre.
Do a whole.
Yeah, you probably had a lot of those.
Yeah, Rampage getting in my face, choking me with Czech Congo. That one was a little because he like went a little too far with the choking. Like he just squeezed a little too long.
Did you pee a little?
No, but I was afraid. I mean, freaking Alistair Overeem taking me down at Jackson's. Although I did stuff it for a very long time while holding a microphone, so I thought that was what wasn't caught on camera was him actually choking me on the ground, which I thought he went a little too far there
What
too.
did he choke you with?
I think it was guillotine, and it was really.
Oh, he's got a nasty guillotine,
it was.
too.
It was like come
rough.
on, buddy. And there's like everyone watching us, and like there's Cerrone, like you couldn't help me out, buddy. You couldn't, you can stick up for me.
No, they will let you die.
No, Greg Jackson. They all watched and laughed. Anyway.
I feel like that they're living out some kind of fantasy. They all would love to just do that. Not necessarily beat us all up, but
Oh, 100%.
humiliate us a little bit.
Yeah.
They definitely would like that, for sure.
Ronda Rousey, pretty much every encounter. Anyway, 2 left. Let's go to our last 2
Oh,
here
there's
before
more.
we say goodbye. Yes, although your Knicks are far from the NBA Finals, who do you guys have winning the Finals this year?
Not the fans. Yeah, how do you go?
The question isn't who's going to win, how many games, right?
Yeah, I'll go. I think it might be a clean sweep, to be honest with you. I mean, the thing about it is, like, you watched against the Rockets, and I'd never seen a third quarter team like the Warriors. Steph would be like, oh, Steph's been so cold the first 2 quarters. And then he comes out and he's 7 for 7 behind the arc.
Yeah, when they snapped into gear,
it's just impossible. How do you defend that team? We were talking with Joe before the show. If they lost Kevin Durant due to some freak injury or something,
They'd still sweep.
But at least I'd be like, I'll give it a shot. But with the whole...
And with no Kevin Love. One game? Do they win one game?
I think they'll get one.
One game at home. The 2-3-2 format might help them.
Yeah, at home.
Yeah.
In Cleveland.
Danny? You have no idea.
I'll go with the Warriors, yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's not the question, really. It's how many
Thanks,
games.
How many? I think they pull out one game.
One game?
9 or 10.
Yeah, 10.
Being conservative.
Yeah. Last but not least,
Ooh.
what is a favorite childhood movie / TV show / cartoon that you could still watch today and enjoy it as if you were still a kid? This individual says Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Favorite childhood movie, TV show, cartoon?
That's a lot of different things, but if you're talking about like cartoon TV show, like Looney Tunes never really goes out of style.
You still watch it today and still
I could still watch it. I mean, we have some show the kids and stuff like that, but I mean, it's
Looney Tunes is great.
exactly the same.
Yep.
It still holds
I
up.
do a little bit of cheating just by saying The Simpsons. And by the way, in Spanish, they're great.
Really?
Oh yeah,
They're a disaster in Spanish.
No, they're amazing.
They're a disaster. The guy who does the voice
It's
of
the
Homer
funniest thing.
sounds so bad.
It's
Usually for the Spanish dub shows, it's like the same voice for everyone,
Talking about
right?
the Spain Spanish one?
I don't know, the one I saw in Colombia.
Okay.
I thought
My
it was
wife
Did you
showed me
grow up
one.
with the Spanish one?
yeah, of course.
Oh, interesting.
I watched all my cartoons well, you guys probably don't know these, but like Dexter and like all the Cartoon Networks from like the 90s, all of it was in Spanish.
Interesting.
You know what I'll go with? I watched it again the other day just because I was, it's a long story, but I was just reviewing it.
Same by
No.
Fantastic.
It's a good show.
First of all, Hey Dude, underrated Nickelodeon show.
Not familiar.
Gremlins.
Gremlins.
Gremlins was one. I went back and watched it. You watched it recently?
Yeah, we watched
No, I
it.
haven't.
Those 80s movies that really put an
tremendous.
emphasis on actual monsters in the movie making, like physical creatures, really have a special place, I think.
Back to the
70s and
Future.
80s. Back to the Future's a great one.
Tremendous. Tremendous.
Goonies.
I actually just introduced my children to, I used to be a huge Garfield fan of the comics, and I just introduced them to
He
Garfield.
was always mailing Nirmal to Abu Dhabi.
Yes,
I love that
true.
shit.
Abu Dhabi. And the lasagna.
Yeah.
He loves the lasagna. So they're kind of warming up, but it's hard these days with, you'll know this with YouTube. Like, we were watching TV yesterday, first time in a very long time, and they want to fast forward through the commercials. Like, they want to watch Netflix, they want to watch everything on demand, so they're not accustomed to waiting around. So yeah, Garfield is one that we've been watching, and I can't wait to introduce them to the Wonder Years, my favorite sitcom of all time. It's not really a sitcom, but you guys ever see Wonder Years?
Nope.
Arnold.
You're not gonna watch Roseanne?
No. No, maybe the old ones, but Roseanne, big MMA fan.
Cody
yeah.
Garbrandt.
Yeah,
Loves him.
That's right. All right. On that note, great way to end things. What a fun show. Thank you very much to all who tuned in. Thank you very much to all who sent in questions. Apologies to those who we could not get to, probably because we addressed your question earlier or they just weren't good questions. And let's be honest, with forward roll and crying.
I'm still debating on that.
What's your favorite number?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what my favorite number is.
UFC Utica on Friday. Enjoy that. Back next week to talk about it all. Until then, we shall say goodbye for our crew, for Luke, for Danny, for Chuck. I am Ariel. Again, thanks so much for watching. Enjoy the fights.